Check, check. And today has been really hard, but I thought it would be helpful because I know other people are dealing with hard things. It may not be the hard thing that I'm dealing with, but it's hard nonetheless. Like, I've been talking with my mom about moving into the other house, and those were tough. They weren't tough conversations. Like, my mom has always been there for me. It's not an issue of, well, why you gotta be here, or not being welcome or whatever. Like, it's none of that. It's tough for me, because for me, I am discussing the outcome of my failures, you know. And it's like we're at the point now where I'm in a mortgage assistance program so that I don't have to pay my mortgage for a while. That's great, you know. It brings some relief, but it's not enough. And so tough decisions have to be made. And we're at that point now where it just doesn't make sense to stay here because we still have utilities, we still have, other things that come along with this house. And it's becoming overwhelming trying to keep up with everything. And so it's time to start, transitioning. And it's hard, it's like it's a reality now. Like, it's been so hard to face this. I haven't done any preparation. Like, I know today's the day we're going to start transitioning. I have not made any preparations. And I think that's a silent protest against the inevitable, but I can't avoid it. I can't, this isn't something I can avoid or put off. Like, I'm just incredibly sad. I feel like this would be a good video because there's a lot of people in this situation who are facing failure or perceived failure, and you got these voices in your head that are telling you so many things. So let's go through all the things in my head that these thoughts, you know. And I just want to, some of these things might be true. Some of these things aren't true at all. I don't know. But when I'm feeling stressed, like, I feel it in my stomach. It gets to the point, if I'm angry or incredibly sad or worried, it builds up to the point where I literally feel like I'm going to throw up. Um, and it feels like a ball in my stomach. And it's just a ticking time bomb waiting to explode, you know? I feel like I have to get that stress out some kind of way. I want to break things. I want to yell. I want to scream. But I have to keep it together because I got kids and I got a baby, you know? I'm just going to get these things out so that I can de-stress. And other people can identify with some of the things I'm going to say because you're thinking these things about yourself too. Let my family down. Let my kids down. People who were looking up to me or admired my accomplishments are disappointed in me. I'm disappointed in myself. Things are never going to get better. This is a hole I can't dig myself out of. What's the point of trying anymore? What was the point of all the effort to get here if it's gone now? So what's the point of trying anymore? like on a deeper level, like I I'm just gonna do a backstory video. That would make the most sense. Like I went through so much to get here, to buy a house, to make a life for myself and my kids. I went through so much, and it just feels like threw it all away. Hi. Yeah, I so we were walking the other day and I was like, what are these things? So I went on Reddit and there's a plant group and it's an endangered it's endangered. Really? Well, I can't remember what kind they said, but I was like, well, maybe I'll try. I know they have to be cold stratified. But yeah, it's worth a shot. I've never had a roasted chestnut before. So when they fall, does that mean they're ripe? Okay. Okay. Well, that's pretty cool. Maybe I'll try that too. She's 4 months old. Yeah. 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 It's nice to meet you too. Oh, that's okay. I understand. If you can hear the big dog barking down there, it's a Corso. Yeah, he's a big teddy bear, but he looks like a gargoyle. So, you too. Thank you. So, just a little backstory. We went on a walk yesterday, and I see these like. Let me see if I can pick it up without harming myself. These things are incredibly sharp. So there's these spiky balls. I call them spiky balls. And there's a nut inside. And I was like, what is that? Turns out it's a chestnut. He said a different kind of chestnut, but the people in the group said American chestnut. So it could be endangered or at risk. Maybe, maybe not. But it's pretty cool. If it is endangered, then I was going to try to plant one. I don't know much about cold stratification, but I was going to try it. Um, but yeah, like being happy and even having those type of interactions is exhausting because I just feel sad, man. I just want to curl up in a ball and just not come out. I don't want to say not exist because that's extreme. I can't give words to that yet because I really don't mean it. Like I am not going to harm myself or anything like that. But it just feels like I just don't want to be here anymore, you know? I don't want to keep striving and working hard for stuff. And this ties into my fears of failure. I've always had fears of failure. And it's almost like my failure has been confirmed, or the fact that I can't make it has been confirmed. The fact that I won't be successful has been confirmed. Like when I was at work at IBM, I had such paralyzing um, what is it called? Imposter syndrome. It was so paralyzing that I felt like it was something more. Like I really, really wasn't meant to be there, and the environment didn't help at all either. You know, feeling unwelcome. The low-key racism that was going on. There was a lot going on, but in the back of my mind, every single day, there was something telling me, you don't belong here. You can't do this. You won't make it. You can't do it. I'm picking up these things, so don't mind me getting close to the camera. I'm not paying attention. But yeah, that's what it was, And it's like I keep losing stuff. I feel like I keep failing. And every time that voice in my head is like, see, I told you. I told you that you couldn't cut it. I told you that you wouldn't make it. I told you. Told you you wouldn't be successful. It's like, yep, I told you. What are you even trying for? What are you striving for? What are you studying for? I told you you're not going to make it. That's how I'm feeling right now. And it's like, you can't, how do you go on from that? Hey, Foofy. Hey. Hey. Oh, okay. How do you go on from that? How do there's no way to move forward when you feel like a failure. There's no way to move forward when you feel like there's no point in trying anymore. When everything feels like a rat race, when you're struggling to make money, and the value of it fluctuates. To keep buying groceries, to feed people. And then it's like the hunger is never satisfied. You got to keep making money to do that day in and day out. Over and over and over. Wants and needs, things breaking. Like, why, man? I don't want to keep doing this anymore. And I think, if it wasn't for Jesus and my kids, maybe I would have those thoughts. But like I was telling my son the other day, just because you can do everything doesn't mean that everything's an option for you. In order for something to be an option, you have to have the ability to do it, and you have to be considering it. And harm and all those things are not even consideration for me. So not considering it at all. But it still doesn't take away those feelings of just like, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to be rescued, I want to be rescued. I want something or someone to save me from this and the pain that comes along with it. It's painful. This is painful. It hurts. And then, part of me is like, this is superficial, I hurt when I look at my kids ask me for simple things that I can't provide for them anymore. It hurts. And then in my mind, it's like, there's people who can't even ask because they don't even know it exists. Or there's people that know not to ask because they know there's no way they'll ever get it. But it's like, having been able to have it at some point, now you can't do it anymore. That hurts. My house wasn't the greatest. It definitely needs some work. There's a feeling of failure and loss and not even being able to accomplish that goal. it's a goal that I will never reach, as far as I know. Yeah. Camera cut off there for a second. I'm gonna cut off this tracking because it's making me nauseous looking at it. I don't know how much got picked up, but like fixing up the house, I had hopes and dreams, you know, had a clear vision of what I wanted to do, and I'll never reach that goal, it seems. So I'm mourning that. Will I ever be able to buy another house again? I don't know. You know, like I was just thinking today about how I remember when I moved in here, the kids had no idea. No idea. I did all this. They didn't even know I was looking at houses. They had no idea what I was doing. And I signed the papers for the house, and the next day, we had a day. I took them out, and we did whatever they wanted to do. So we ended up eating and like going to the movies, got all the snacks. They got whatever they wanted that day, right? I had it planned out. And I made sure it was really, really late when I got back home, or when I pulled up to the new place, because they were going to be tired and they were going to be asleep in the car and all that. And we pull up to this house, and they're like, where are we? And with my kids, I'm very extreme. Like in my jokes, we joke around very extreme, and I say some off the wall stuff. They're used to it, you know. They know I don't mean it. But I know that when I'm gone, like one of the biggest things they'll remember about me is like I say wild stuff, and when I'm joking on joke time, I do wild stuff, you know. And it makes them smile, it makes them laugh, it shocks them, you know. And so I pull up to this house, and the first thing we see is a deer there. And they're like, "Oh wow, look at that deer! It's just standing there," and it was just standing there. We got out, and you know, it let us get really close, and they were like, "Oh wow, like, but where are we?" I was like, "Guys, someone stole our stuff at the old house. I just found out someone stole our stuff at the old house, and this is the place. They're not home. Come on, we got to get our stuff back." I don't know why. I don't know why I thought this, right? So that was my thing. That was my plan. So they all of a sudden, you know, they perk up. They're like, "What? What? Oh my God, Mom!" And one thing about my kids, they're ride or die, right? If I say, and this is why, you know, doing something stupid, not literally not existing anymore by my own hands is not even an option for me, because of my kids, man. If I walk off a cliff, they'll be right behind me like, "Mom did it, so we're gonna be good. Let's go." She already has a plan. She already, like, to have people trust in you and have faith in you like that, and then to feel like you let them down, man, and they don't have a yard anymore to play in, and they don't have their own rooms anymore. I'm not gonna be out here crying, but I mean, it's like to have people trust in you like that, you know? Have people trust in you more than you trust in yourself. Have people believe in you more than you believe in yourself. Have people think that you could literally do anything, that you know everything. Even my 19-year-old, if I tell her something, it's got to be true, you know? It's got to be fact. So even though I say off the wall stuff with the kids, I let them know when I'm joking and when I'm not, because my words and my actions hold so much power with them. It holds so much power. It it just hurts so bad, man. It hurts. And they're not greedy. My kids aren't greedy. They they don't ask for big stuff. Even when we had money, they never wanted anything big. So whenever they asked, I gave it to them. Because they weren't selfish, gimme kids. They were never that. And now I can't even do the bare minimum. I can't even, you know, buy a dollar drink from the store sometimes. It hurts, man. It hurts. It just hurts. You know? I question things. I question them superficially. Like, I'm saying all this, but I still got faith. I still have hope. I still know I have purpose. But these thoughts compete. They compete for what I know to be true. They compete with it. And I got to pray. I got to pray and keep my mind on what I know to be true, because I'm hurting and I just want relief. And sometimes when you just want relief, you're going to go with what feels good to your emotions to try to reason the hurt away. But anyway, so we pull into the house and I'm like, guys, somebody took our stuff and they're at this house and they're not home. We're gonna go in there and get our stuff. So I said all that to say, my kids were like, okay, yes, let's do this. They were all on board, right? They were all on board. And so I have the keys to the house. So I'm like, you guys stay here. I'm gonna get the door open. I was in the military. And so my kids literally think I'm like M16 or something. Like they think I'm Mission Impossible. They really do. Like they really think I can do anything. They really think I can hurt anybody. They really think I can be out here, you know, cracking heads and skulls. They really think I can do all that stuff. So I have the key. I'm like, stay back here. I'm gonna unlock the door. They're like, okay, cool. She got this, right? She know what she's doing. So I go up there, I slide the key out or whatever. But I pretend like I'm like hitting the door with my shoulder, and I get the door open. I unlock the door. I'm like, come on, guys, come on. And they get out of the car and they're running and they're, like looking around and stuff like that because they're trying to like be discreet or whatever. And inside, it's just like the same ball of sadness that I have, feeling like I might throw up from sadness, is literally the same ball of excitement that I had in my joy, because I was going to give them something that no one ever gave me, something that was special. Like, I got this house, it needs work, but it's ours, and I did it on my own. And we got an acre of land, and we gonna do stuff, and eventually we gonna get a pool, and we got this big old dog, and he has space to run around. We gonna get some more dog. It's like I have room for a garden, and the kids still have room to play around. And it was like the vision, right? I could barely contain my joy in giving them this. And every day of imposter syndrome and feeling like I couldn't make it and I couldn't do it made it worth it. That's why I showed up every day at work. Because if it was me just by myself, I'd be like, man, this ain't for me. All right, I'll go live in my car. I had no problems doing that. But, I wanted it for them. So they get in the house, they're looking around, house is old. It used to belong to a church. and it's got green shag carpet and wallpaper and stuff like that. They don't see any of that. They're just like, whoa, huge. I'm like, whoa, this place is huge, you know. And I'm like, they're like, well, where's our stuff? I'm like, it's, you know, I think it's, I'm pretty sure it's upstairs. So the plan was they're gonna go upstairs and look for their stuff, but they're really scoping out rooms. They're really scoping out their rooms. They're gonna come downstairs and be like, Mom, I don't see our stuff. So that's what happened, you know. Like, Mom, I don't, they're like they're running around and it's an echo, you know what I'm saying? And like that's an echo, and they're just they aren't their minds aren't even on their stuff anymore. At some point, their minds are on this house, and they start running around and playing tag and playing hide and seek, and they're in love with this house. So the plan didn't go the way I wanted it to go. They were supposed to come downstairs and say, Mom, we can't, you know, we don't see our stuff. And I was like, well, I guess we're gonna have to move our stuff in then because it's ours. But in the midst of them running around, I don't know if it was the look on my face or what, but they had totally exhausted themselves from playing hide and seek and looking at the kitchen and trying to see the yard because it was pitch black. And they were like running around there, and eventually they all came to me because they were hungry again or whatever. It's real late at night, and they're like, is this for us? And at that point I just broke down crying, and I was like, yeah, this is for you. And they just ran to me and hugged me and were like, thank you, Mommy, thank you, thank you. When this is ours, like, are you serious, are you serious? I was like, yeah, this is yours, this is our new home. This neighborhood is amazing. Like, you can literally, I mean, I won't say it. Now the sarcasm's coming out. I'm just saying because I ain't gonna hear it no more anyway. You can have your cars unlocked, your door unlocked. This neighborhood is so safe. It's nothing but old white folks. Yeah, walking their dogs and walking their babies like I'm doing. None but some old white folks on this road, on the street. What's up, sweetie? You don't have to. Well, yeah, I mean, you got dog fur all over your pants. So take those off. So yeah, change your clothes, okay? You know, this ties into another thing. These thoughts, these thoughts of defeat that go through my head. I can't tell you how many times in the first 6 months I moved in here, neighbors would come up, knock on the door to introduce themselves, but they were really just trying to, I see you. Yeah. These folks would come acting like they're introducing themselves, but they're really just being nosy, trying to get information about me because I'm a young black woman with 4 kids living on this street in this established neighborhood. And 90% of them, oh, so you're renting the church, the old church house? No, I bought it. Oh, so you own this. So this is yours. I'm like, yeah. You know, every single time. Except for maybe like 2 people. And the reason I know is because after those conversations and I see them walking and I wave at them, they'd act like I wasn't even there. So they weren't being friendly. They were being nosy and racist. So I feel defeated. I feel like I don't want to give them the pleasure of knowing my failure, feeling like I couldn't cut it, that I don't deserve this, that I never should have been here in the first place. And I'm not going to lie to you, my pride kept us here for a long time because I just didn't want to give them the satisfaction of seeing us leave. It makes me angry. It doesn't hurt, it makes me angry. And to go from this wonderful neighborhood where we feel completely safe, to some place, that the other house is small. It's tiny. We're gonna be packed in like sardines. There's no sidewalks. I'm not gonna say it's a rough neighborhood, but okay, so it's a rougher neighborhood where my kids can't walk to the store. I wouldn't feel safe with them walking to the store or walking around the corner. I wouldn't feel safe with them being out of my line of vision. Number one, because they have to walk in the street, but number two, because of the people that are there. That hurts, yo. Wait, I see a worm on the sidewalk. It's a grub. I see a grub. I'm trying to get it in the dirt. Maybe it'll make its way back in the ground. I don't know. That hurts, and it now requires more effort. They can't just go outside and play with their friends in the yard, in our huge yard. They can't do that now. I gotta watch them. Yard's tiny, you know. And these may sound superficial things, but yo, that was mine. It was mine. It still is mine. I'm trying to let go. I'm trying to go ahead and just let go. But it was mine, and now it's not. It's upsetting to feel like you've made progress and then you have to take 10 steps back, you know? Feel like you keep you're in the cycle all over again where it's like poverty just keeps chasing you. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I didn't make bad decisions. I talked about the mistakes that I made, things that I could have done and should have done better. I just didn't know. To do better, you got to know better. I didn't know better. But I feel like it's too late in the game to be making these types of mistakes. And I don't know if I'm ever going to have an opportunity again to make it right. I pray that I do. But it's like, the older you get, the more effort it requires. And I'm already like, man, you know, all the stuff that I went through at IBM, I don't want to go through that again. The racism, the sexism, not feeling welcome. It's very common in the tech space for Black people. It's just the striving to have stuff and be something. It's exhausting. And I had something. And now, I don't know. These are the thoughts. These are the thoughts of defeat that go through my head. And maybe you are going through those thoughts too. Asking yourself, why does it have to be so rough? Why does it have to be so tough? And I'm going to tell you, there's probably so many more things that I haven't said that are in my heart or in my head that I'm still working through this thing, But one thing I can say is it's not over. I know this sounds contradictory. It absolutely does. But guess what? You don't have to submit to every thought that goes on in your head. You don't have to bow down to that. Because that's just what the enemy wants. You got to push through. I've been crying today, but I'm not down and out. Got to get back up and keep fighting. Discover what's important to me. I'm really trying to tap into the gifts, talents, and abilities that God has given me so that life won't seem like such a burden. So that, if I have to strive, which I do, at least it'll be enjoyable, more enjoyable than doing things that I don't like to do, And the same thing goes for you. You cry, you have your moment, you shed them tears, but don't give in to those thoughts. Find something that will keep you going. Find something to keep you pushing, even if it's you. You may not have anybody external that keeps you going, but you're worth it. You're worth the time and you're worth the effort. So let it be you. Just know God's not done with you yet. I know He's not done with me. Still sad though, because I worked hard. I worked hard for this. I worked hard for it. But just like God's not done with me, He's not done with you. And your purpose doesn't go away just because you make some mistakes, especially when you acknowledge those mistakes and see how you could have done better or been better. And if you're ever faced with another situation, how you gonna do better? It's not done with you. Have your moment. Keep pushing. Keep pushing, even in your sadness. Pick yourself up. You have a defeated thought, a thought of defeat. Don't give in to that. Don't submit to that thing. Acknowledge that you had the thought, but don't acknowledge that it's true. I'm doing the video. What is it? I told you, put it on your bed. We're going to pack it up. Just put it on your bed. We'll get it. We'll probably have to come back for it. We're trying to figure it out, but we'll figure it out. No, sweetie. This is my video. Hurry up, Jeffrey, because my battery's low. She scratched her face. Come on, baby, my battery. All right. Jeffrey, sweetie. Yeah. I mean, don't even take the time to try to analyze whether or not these thoughts are true. It doesn't matter. The thoughts don't matter. If they're negative at all, they don't matter. The only thing that matters is what you're going to do. Are you going to hey, beautiful. Are you going to submit to these thoughts? Are you going to give in to them? Are you literally just going to lay down and waste away? Is that even really possible? It's not. In most cases, it's not possible. So we have to get up. We have to keep pushing. We have to keep fighting. Because it's not over, you know? It's like when you're watching wrestling, as fake as it is, right? You watching a wrestling match, eventually somebody's going to get thrown outside the ring and hit with a chair or get thrown on a table. And it's like, man, once they get out the ring, it feels like, I don't know, it's over, but get back in the ring. Keep fighting the good fight. You might be tired, you might be weary, you might be worn. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. The morning is coming. It's coming. I have hope in that. You know, when I'm breaking down and I'm crying, the Holy Spirit is reminding me of these things. It won't let me submit to the darkness. I won't let myself submit to the darkness. Bozzy, go lay down. I won't let it happen. Because I know I'm better than that. I know there's more in store for me than that. I know I have more purpose than that. And, you know, I always say it. Two things can be true at the same time. You can have joy and hope, and you can also be sad and hurting. I have hope. I have joy on the inside, but I'm sad and I'm hurting. You know, you can be mourning and have regrets and still be happy that you're losing the thing you're mourning. I'm feeling all of these things. And if it's negative in any type of way, I'm not even analyzing it. I'm just focusing on what the Spirit is telling me and what I know to be true. That's all I can do. And that's all you can do. So be encouraged. It's not over. It's not over. It's just the beginning. Something bigger and better. I'm not saying it because it sounds good. I'm saying it because it's true. As long as you keep pushing, as long as you keep fighting, it's true. All right, let me get out of here.